If the CPU is the brain of your PC build, then the motherboard is the heart. And for a good build, you need a good strong heart. And boy, have I found one. And this is the motherboard that I've chosen. It's the MSI X399 SLI Plus. It comes with Mystic Light RGB, which sounds a bit spooky. I'm sure we'll get to that later on. It of course has the X399 architecture and the socket TR4 to support the Threadripper CPU. This is such a full-featured motherboard, and at the time I purchased it, it was also the lowest priced motherboard, which is incredible when you see the features that it has. So if I just flip it over a moment, it has 4 PCIe 3x16 slots, full speed PCIe slots, and they of course are fully supported by the architecture and the Threadripper. There are more than enough PCIe lanes. You could fill every slot and still have more to spare. 2 of these are armoured, as you can see, and they support the 4-way SLI and 4-way Crossfire as well. Of course, Nvidia at the moment are playing down SLI, but you can still put 2 cards in there and you'll have a very, very powerful system. Supports 8 DIMMs in quad channel, DDR4 of course, up to 3600 at overclock speed, and it has a further 2 PCIe by 1 slots as well. Storage, this is what really sold me on it. 3 turbo M.2 PCI compatible slots and a further 8 SATA 6GB. The PCIe now supports RAID as well, but of course the SATA supports both RAID 0, 1 and RAID 10. USB ports, well, there's no shortage of them. 3 USB 3.1 Gen 2 in both Type A and Type C slots. You've got 12 USB 3.1 Type A, and then you've got 6 further USB 2 available. Absolutely, the connectivity is brilliant, and the gigabit LAN is provided by Intel, one of the best LAN supports you can get really. 8-channel 7.1 HD audio, so you don't need an additional board to produce high quality sound. 120 decibels and 192 kilohertz 24-bit depth. Absolutely outstanding, all built into the board. So extras like add-on boards you don't really need unless you're doing some really high-end stuff. It comes with DDR4 boost as well to speed up the memory. You can of course use the Mystic Light to change the colour and match your build, and transfers beyond limitation. Well, it really speeds up the M.2 speeds as well, and all of that we'll get to when we come to the build itself. But I think now is the time that we should get this open. So let's grab my little knife. Actually, there's no tab on this one, so I don't need the knife. And we'll get it open. And there she is, tucked in there, and I'll just take out the motherboard itself first, and we lay that to the side, and we'll see what else is in the box. So you've got your driver disc. Again, as with the graphics card, I'll be downloading the drivers direct from the website, the MSI website, because they will be the up-to-date ones, but this also has some of the utilities on there. Quite often it's a good idea to install the utilities from the disk and then leave the system to update them. We'll come back to that as well during the build. A little product support card. Stickers to go on your wiring loom, so you can mark things out. Quick installation guide, and of course As ever, off to the drawer of obscurity with that. The user manual follows along. What else have we got here? In here we have the SLI bridge. So is that a high bandwidth one? SLI, yes, it's a high bandwidth SLI bridge as well. It's a long one by the looks of it. Then we have various connections. There's some SATA leads. Some more SATA leads. So that's 4 SATA leads. I'm not exactly sure 100% what that one is. I'll have to look that one up. And then we got the back plate as well. This doesn't have a back plate built in. It's still the old-fashioned put one on yourself. And then tucked away down here, there's even more. So let's lift that up. And under here, we've got the bag. Let's have a look if I get it open. See what's in here. You got some thumb screws, some standoffs, very long standoffs, and then you have what I believe is a graphics card support. Again, I'll double check on that, but I think that's what it is. So let's just have a little look what the OC fan stand installation guide. Oh right, it's not, it's an OC fan. So if you want to add an extra fan, if you had a workbench, rather than in a system itself, then you could set up the stand. I think I might be able to make use of that though, in the build, as a graphics card bracket. We'll see how that goes. So let's move this out of the way, and then we'll get the actual motherboard itself out. Now one thing we want to be careful with is we don't want to have any problems with static electricity. So I'm just going to put the board on top of the box before we open it. Turn it over, and this is where the knife will come in handy. And we bring the board itself out, being very careful not to touch the board itself. So on the back of the board here you've got various controls and all the input outputs. You've got a CMOS clear button there and a BIOS flashback button as well. You've got your mouse and keyboard input there if you're using that type of mouse and keyboard. The USB 2 slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 USB 3 slots, 1 USB 3.1. This is the Gen 2 10GB. That's type A, and then you've got a type C below it. You've got your audio out, including the optical, which is the one that I use, and all the audio is down here. It looks really, really nice, this board. It's a really well laid out, clean board. You've got your socket TR4 cover there. That stays on until you are ready to put your CPU in. Leave it in place because it protects all the pins underneath it. You've got here an M.2 shield, which is placed on top of your main M.2 for cooling purposes. So you've got added heatsink there. You've got 2 8-pin CPU power supplies there, plus the usual 24-pin there. And then on the back you've got all your SATA and USB 3 outs, 2 USB 3s there. One of those will be the 3.1. I'll have to check the manual to see which. And all the usual connections along the side there, and various control switches there, including a power switch, so you don't need to have it in the system build ready. You can actually put it on a workbench and test it before you build it into the box. The other 2 M.2 slots are there as well. This is the board then. That's going to be the heart and soul of the Threadripper build. And I only have to unbox the Threadripper itself and the heatsink and fan. I'm going to probably unbox the memory and the fans at the same time, because they won't take too long. And then the next step will be the build itself. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing, and I look forward to having you see the next part. And then come with me along. My sheep is telling me it's time to finish. Come with me along on the build itself. But for now though, thank you for watching.